Hello gentlemen, how are you? So today we will proceed what we stopped at. So today we're gonna proceed and talk about more things in Reconnaissance. So similar to alerts, there is something called the groups, also in the search engines. So if we go to, okay, let us open the browser. So there is something called Google Groups, groups.google.com. And usually in these groups, we can create a group or we can join a group. So a lot of companies will have some groups inside Google, for example. Let us search for maybe Yoti, if there is a group there. Okay, Yoti, more groups. Could be, actually. So how does this work? Some companies use groups for their employees or users. Now, this was a bit old, so now there is no Google groups actually being used much, and Yahoo groups. Now most of them are using Telegram groups or Discord channels or Slack applications. So, well, we can apply the same. So actually we can look for Yoti, which is the favorite company, that we apply on. And we can type Discord, for example. Maybe they have Discord channel, Yoti integration, and Discord server. So probably they don't have Discord, but in case, for example, we can try to join their Discord channels or any other channels like Telegram, for example, and be inside so we can record everything that is happening and we can identify if there is some important information, useful stuff for us that will help us in finding more detailed information or, helping us to exploit something we already discovered. So this is just a small example. So what we can search inside the groups, for example, for more domain names related to the company, for subdomains, for IP addresses, for the usernames of the users and the employees, and for other blogs, groups, links, all of these will be useful somehow. So now going to the other things related to Reconnaissance, and we will see that we have a lot of stuff, which we will pass and talk about everything. So Reconnaissance using Google hacking techniques. Well, we've already discussed Google search engine, but believe it or not, we still have a lot of stuff about Google where we need to discover. So there is something called Google Dorks, Google hacking database, and this allows us extracting the details in a very quick way and what exactly we are looking for. So we create a query, and in order to extract a specific information we are looking for. So it helps to identify vulnerable targets and it helps to locate specific sensitive information using the Google operators. So Google Dorks are simply like this. So if I type here Google hacking database, and we will see that in exploit-dn we have all the dorks for Google which we can use. So save this link. And by the way, I'm not typing in the notes on purpose because I need you to apply every single step I'm doing, every website I visit or every source I check, because if I type everything here, everything will be ready for you and you will not, learn properly. And learning properly is by following everything and, replicating what I'm doing. So preferably for you to see where I go, you can type it on Google. No need to apply for this because you need to learn how to use Google to pull up the needed information. So Google hacking database is the important database full of dorks where you can search for a specific thing inside a specific domain. So we can see that there are some keywords, parameters, and the values where we can add some information and some details in order to get the exact result that we are looking for. So here we are looking for the /login.aspx in URL. So inside the URL there should be login.aspx in title user, and the title here up here is called user. So this is exactly, for example, something we're looking at. If we go, we copy this, we paste it here. Actually, you need to paste it in Google, not in the URL here. So if we paste here and we make sure it is Google search because it is Google database, so we are seeing now any domain with login.aspx, and the title here is called user. So if we let us visit a couple of sites. So here we are seeing, as I told you, login.aspx, and inside the title there is the word user. You can see ITU user. So user should be above because we need a user login, and here user login as well, and you can see that in the URL there is login.aspx. How this can be useful? Let's say we need only to look for Yoti. So site, we type here site, yoti.com, meaning that I only want to look in the Yoti websites. So this result means that it didn't find us any result. So we can remove the in title and check if there is login. Okay, we can remove the ASPX because maybe they are using different technology. So ASPX is the ASP.NET, the Windows Server language as well, the IIS. So when we added only in URL/login, we got all the domains and the subdomains of yoti.com that they have the login page. So we can check them all. We have the 3 main domains. So yes, we got one of them with the login page, and we got another one with the documentation of the login page and allowed us to know another login URL, identity.yoti.com, different than hub, for the login page. And also we got another documentation as well. So you see, from only Google Dorking, we can get a lot of, useful data. So what else we can look for? So here in the slides, they have some things. So we can try to look for the cache to display the web pages stored in the Google cache, link to search for a specific link, related info site that we used, in title, in URL that we also used, in title, in URL, and a lot of other keywords. So, for example, let's say I want to search for a specific file. So ext for extension, PHP for example, or txt. Okay, let us check here what things. So in title, extension. So in case you need to find something, for example, like this, no need to keep searching like this. You simply can go here and type, and we got some ext. Let us ext. Okay, like this. So we need any file that ends with .sql. So I was typing it wrong. In text, index of .sql. For sure they don't have SQL actually. Yeah, so let's type txt instead of SQL. Also they don't have, well, no need for index of. We only need the extension. PHP maybe. Okay, so Yoti doesn't have it. Well, let's type twitter.com. Let us search for another thing. Okay, I was doing it wrong. Okay, this one. So now inside the Twitter, let us look for any PHP extension in the end. So there is no Snapchat. You see, profile.php, my.php. So we got it here. Well, one of the important scenarios here to search for sensitive files inside the application. Yeah, so let's see, I want to see every document that is found in the website. Maybe I can get, leaked document by mistake was uploaded there. So PDF. We found Snap Law Enforcement Guide. We strongly encourage all members of US government agencies who have not requested blah blah blah. So let's say they by mistake they they added a sensitive file for finance, for example. Well, let's go back to look for Yoti. Lot of PDFs. So here I recommend to look at the date, and here there is filter recent date, I guess, somewhere. So there will be a filter recent date. Yes. So past month, for example, there is nothing. This is very important actually, because you can go to the bug bounty platforms like Twitter. We already saw Twitter. Let us check. So Twitter, it is 15 May 2023. So this one is recent. Maybe they will have sensitive information inside the document by mistake. Now you can read and check. So to be realistic, I found the same vulnerability inside the Department of Defense. They had a department domain where they have by mistake sensitive document exposed. So this is important to check while you're doing the scan. Facebook, for example, they don't have in the last month, because we're checking for the last month to find sensitive data recently exposed. Let us try github.com. There is nothing. Not only PDF, the XLSX for the Excel files and others as well. And sometimes, TXT, sometimes if they have information about server, whatever. Let us check Yoti. Well, that's very good, actually. So this is example of using Google Dorks. And we can use much more information. Not only this, so a lot of other things combined together. So I need to look, as I said before, I need to find directory listing, so I use index of. I need to see if wp-includes in WordPress is found, so I use this. And a lot of other things we can use to look for a specific database. I'm looking for SQL, and the DB has runtime/log. I'm looking for log files. So if we this is also explanation, of everything. So the command here and the explanation, and so this is a generic query that will tell you everything and will give you generic results. You see, for example, this one. But let's say I need to, and let us remove the filter anytime. And let's say I need to find it in a specific domain. So I simply hit site and the domain name. For example, yahoo.com. Because yahoo.com is not vulnerable to this, right? That's why. But this is important to narrow the results if you want to target a specific domain. And you can also do this. So you tell them to include all the subdomains. Yeah. So we have in URL, in text. So in URL means that inside the URL there will be a runtime/log. So if we go here, you will see that we have log and there will be runtime as well. So yes, here. That's why it appeared here. While in text means inside the text of the domain of the website there will be word SQL. So here, yes, you see SQL here is found. Well, let's type here. In text we need SQL error. You see, we got it inside the text. So how this is useful. So let me just show you my SQL connection error. So whenever a domain is inside the website, the domain inside the website is connected to SQL, sometimes they face some error like this. Cannot connect to server, for example, due to some errors. So we can go copy this and go on Google Dorks and put in text and the SQL error or the connection error, and we can track all the domains where they may have some cache and more information as well. And for sure, we hit the site, so we can look for a specific site. Any domain. So, for example, GitHub. Well, GitHub, because they solve issues here. You see, cannot connect to server. So this is somehow useful. Sometimes I use it a lot when I want to search for a specific file or a specific, domain. For example, I want to search for all the login pages. So I go here, twitter.com, in URL, login. So I have all the login pages. This is for help, blog, help, business, ads, login, get started. So we found a new login page, sign up, redirecting us to the main Twitter page, get started. So that's why Google Dorks is important, because sometimes it will store a lot of cache things here. Anyways, I guess we talked very good information about Google Dorks. And as I told you, you can rely on this. And let's say a lot of results here. Yes, I agree. So what you need to do is either check the filter and see what you are looking for. Error messages, file contain juicy information, files contain passwords. So here, in-text password, in-text pass.txt, .zip. So these are important. Or you can check Google, top useful, Google Dorks. What? Okay. Top useful Google Dorks commands. And you can check from known blogs like this, even if it's old a bit from 2021, but it's fine. So here, cache. So let us check cache. Cache, it shows us if there is something cached before. So yoti.com. So this is a cache page from before, actually. Oops. So you will see, even if we type Google search, it's redirecting us to the main domain, because actually we're not, for the time being, we're not going to the main domain. If you look at the URL, it is webcache.googleUserContent.com/search, and the query is the cache domain we are looking for. So if we go to mainyoti.com, you will see some difference. So a bit difference in the shape, but it's somehow not all cached. So they work on their cache. Let us check another domain. So cache. For example, let me see my website. It is the same. So what cache means? Yeah, let's say if I changed the domain information yesterday. So this is in 20 March 2023. I don't know why it's in Arabic, but this cache is since 20 March 2023. So let's say 1 week ago I changed the content, changed the shape. So the cache will allow you to view the domain as before I change everything. Even here in the cache here, let me just hit. Yeah, here they were trying to mention since when it was cached. So let us check another domain quickly. So cache Twitter. It's since 3.6 actually. So today. So they work on their cache properly. And believe me, a lot of vulnerabilities sometimes because of cache. They miss to refresh and release the cache. So all the information will still be found and maybe there will be important things inside. So these are one of the important things to look at. File type, PDF. So you see, even same thing, you can approach it from different perspective, different commands, either file type or ext, for example. Okay. And this is what I told you about the Google hacking database that I showed you. It is the same. And the Google Dorks, it's also the same. So, and also here, something else, advanced Google search. So this is way more advanced. So let us go to Google Advanced Search. So it is google.com/advanced_search. So here you have a lot of options where you can look for very specific detail, all these words. So you want to look for all these words. I want to look for Yoti. Sorry. I want to look for Yoti. I want to look for Yoti sign. This exact word or phrase. So the exact word is Yoti. Any of these words. Fine. None of these words. So I don't want to look for support. Yeah. Oh, I don't want to look for support. I don't want to look for help, because there will be documentation. For example, I don't want to look for documentation. Any language, I only need the English, for example, or let's say any language. Any region, you can specify the region. Any time, we needed the past month or past year, so we can avoid get. Site or domain, you can put the domain, but keep it as it is. Anywhere. So here you can see it is like Google Dorks, in title or in the text or in the URL, and then hit the advanced search. See, we got very good information here. A Russian website that are talking about Yoti integration. So maybe it is a competitor where we can look and find more information about. That's cool. We can translate the page so we can know what they are talking about. Yoti Casino Security Software, buying software against hacker attacks. 2/13/2023. So maybe somehow they invented an application that can bypass the Yoti encryption, for example. As an example, yeah. Here it's not. They are only, talking about it. But this is important. So you're checking everything inside the internet for any information. So here we identified that they have another company collaborating with them called Propco. So before, if you remember, we didn't find any information about this, and we didn't identify them in Crunchbase, if you remember, when we looked for the investors. But now, because we search in a different way using Google Advanced Search, we were able to identify that Yoti and the Propco are collaborating together to form a new identity verification service app. This is good information, so actually we can start looking for vulnerabilities here. And because Yoti has a program on HackerOne, we will see if this one has a program on HackerOne as well. UK bug bounty. So probably no. But here you can look for the third parties. Let's say if you tried to find a vulnerability here and it was related to Yoti somehow, you can report it in Yoti and you will be, you will get paid for it as well. And this is important. Now, sometimes they make it easier for you, web portals, so you can know where are the login pages without checking on Google. They make it easy. So, yeah. So this is a brief about Google Advanced Search Engine. And now let's jump to footprinting via the social network sites. We've already talked about Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter in finding some useful information. So in Twitter, you can look for the tags, for the trending things. So let's say I want to target Yoti on Twitter. Let me see if my Twitter account works. Very good. So let me go here. Let me go to here and search for example, anything related to Yoti. So anyone who mentioned, anyone who talked about it, we can look, identify, analyze, and check whenever they have some updates. And probably we need to look for the, important thing, which is the main domain, because they are get Yoti. So we can here change it to get Yoti. And here we can look for specific information about them. So who is this? So this is belonging to crypto, but mentioned get Yoti here. Yeah, so basically checking everything about them. Same concept for Facebook, for every social profile. Pinterest, Google Plus is no longer existing now. So Twitter and more. So fake profiles on social media, you can also check if some attackers are creating fake profiles for the company. If yes, it means that they don't have protection against fake or phishing domains or phishing profiles, and they don't have the takedown capabilities to remove the phishing content about them. So it means that an added, weakness for the security level. And also, as we talked before, we showed it. We go after the employees on LinkedIn, for example. So Yoti, LinkedIn, uk.linkedin.com/company_Yoti, and here where you can view actually the number of employees. So if we hit here, now we can list all the employees that they work here. We can see that they have Arabic employees, or no, sorry, but I have some connections with them. So this is good. We can check all the employees, we can check their profiles, we can find some useful information, maybe look for the IT employees. The location, the talks about the company, and here the industry. So we need to look for the IT, the software development, the technology, show results, because actually we need to target, for example, penetration test. We need to DevOps engineers at Yoti. We need to go after these because actually these where they will do some mistakes. We can go here and try to get his profile on GitHub and check if Yoti has a GitHub page. So Yoti GitHub, yes, they have. And here we look for the people and we try to identify the developers, chief product engineer, and we see the followers, and we will talk in details about GitHub, the followers, and all of this should work in GitHub, most probably. And then we can look inside their profiles and check the source code they have, because actually they may have some, by mistake, they may put a password here and there by mistake or a token, and we can, increase the search capabilities. For example, password in this repository. Sorry. Come on. Okay. Well, they don't have password here, but let's say key. Yes. So imagine if he has the access key and the secret key here exposed, like this, actually. So we can look inside the code and try to get information. And we can check their accounts on social media. We can read all their blogs. For example, we can collect information about the groups that they are inside, so that we can understand the mindset, the mentality of these employees, and try to exploit any weakness we identify or any vulnerability we find from them. So this is very good, useful information about the social networking sites. So basically what attackers gets, well, attackers can collect the contact information, the location, the friends list of these employees, as we saw the connections on LinkedIn, the friends on Facebook, for example, identify the family members because of the last name, identify their interests, their activities. So a lot of information can be gathered from the social media. And what the users do, so users actually, the users, the employees as well, they do their normal things. So they maintain the profile, they keep updating it, then it is feeding the attacker actually. And when they connect to a new friend and the chat with them, the attacker will know because he's monitoring the friendship, the friend lists. When they share photos, share videos on their profiles, the attacker will know. If they shared a photo with a brother, sister, they tagged him, her, so the attacker will know that this is a family member. When they play games, when they join specific groups, when they like specific page, the attacker will know their interest. So it is a complete, understanding of the human being nature and, everything about the employee. So it is dangerous if you create an automation system that can monitor everything inside the social media. It is very dangerous. And I've known some tools that can do it, like Maltego and other commercial insider tools. But actually, it is not an intelligence because you're collecting public information, you're parsing them, and then you're viewing them in a very good way, actually. But it is valuable, it is sensitive and important. And what the organizations do, so organizations sometimes, upload surveys for the employees to fill, they promote their products, they have user support, they do recruitment, and also they check the employees that they want to hire. So what the attackers benefit is when there is a survey and attacker somehow obtain the survey, the attacker will be able to know the business strategy or at least what the company is thinking to improve in the future because of reading the survey. When they promote the product, attacker actually will know the product profile. Maybe he will, the attacker will request a trial to try the application to understand and see if there is something in the logic that can be broken. User support, social engineering, because you can use the support section inside the websites in order to talk to the employee, convince him or make him do certain actions. Recruitment, technology information, the platform information, and of course, as you see in the previous session, if you remember, when we hit to the jobs section, I told you that we know the type of jobs that they lack. So where the expertise they lack. So if they need security analysts, meaning that they have some problems in security and they need to improve, so it is the time to hit. So the type of business. Okay, so we will proceed in the next session about the rest.